Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Indiana Esports Network. I'm one of your hosts here, Sami Nami. Joining me is Cherry J. Say hello, Cherry.
Yeah, hi everyone. We're joining you once more with some massive Minecraft action. It's the semifinals coming in. We have three teams looking to make their way up to the championship. Bachelor Middle School, NMS Minecraft team, Blue Jays Middle School, Varsity Minecraft. Those are the three rosters coming in hot as we open up our Minecraft stories. Honestly, it's been a good season. I remember back last year we saw the Minecraft movie come out. We're getting the next Minecraft movie in 2026. So I'm super excited with all the Minecraft action we see going on through the season. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. As I'm just looking forward to it so much.
Oh, I certainly am myself, and I'm really looking forward to these teams really bringing us the show for today. But first, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor here, Zotac, as we want to give a big shout out to them, Zotac Gaming, for supporting the Scholastic Esports in Indiana. So you can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on the social media. Make sure to join their community on Discord, and don't forget to use hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag Zotac USA when you post. Now, is there anything that we're really looking to have brought to us here on the Bed Wars that you know of, Cherry J?
Well, with all three schools coming into the Minecraft season, able to make it this far, this is where it's certainly going to come to fruition. Who will be the team to make the victory? That's what we're looking for. But as of now, certainly the two teams that I'm going to be looking at are Bachelor Middle School, as they've been coming in as, I believe, starting out on this red side. So they're going to be taking that. But then the next two games, they're starting on the same match. They're starting the same island. They're going yellow to yellow. So it's an interesting way to kind of adapt our game. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays Middle School as well, they're going to go green, green, red. So they also get to start out same island, having that opposition in the same place as they'd like. And they get that little bit of comfortability regarding how they're going to be able to path over towards diamond generators, knowing where their enemies are going to be located. Now, NMS Minecraft team, they're in a bit of an odd position compared to the rest of the kind of teams where they're going to each and every island throughout this. So they have to kind of pivot from strategies and kind of change how they want to direct their attention regarding how their teams are, how the opposite teams are going to be playing around them, right? Because of that, it kind of begs the question, how is that going to be able to transfer into real in-game kind of positioning? Because as you know, assuming that one team is going to be doing like a lot better than others, that's the team you're going to want to pivot away from. That's the team you're going to want to try and divert your attention from, instead opting for the opposition, as it's a big thing to go for bed breaks. Within 5 points, you'll get that as soon as you take a bread. It's a massive advantage that you're going to get. As we head into this game, we are going to be kind of already looking towards each team coming on through. North Judson, St. Pierre, Northside, and Bachelor are going to be the three teams. So we are already seeing North Judson, St. Pierre going for just kind of a bit of a passive play. Nobody going too aggressive just yet, as a 4-player team does give you the option to invest heavily towards the diamond generators. Since you do have 2 players to be proactive towards each one, you don't really need to go for the emeralds in center. However, it does seem as if Bachelor, they're instantly going to have that aggressive kind of scenario in their heads of, I want to get that diamond armor fast, as that permanent buff is going to look for dueling capabilities. Now, there's already engagement taken out with Northside, already going to be able to force out a 2v1.
Oh, they're able to get that elimination there from the get-go. I would say, despite Bachelor's initial takeover of the main island, you will be seeing that they're really just outmanned here. They're being numbers are not going to be in their favor here. Seeing them try to make an escape, but as we're watching between Bachelor and Northside here, I would say that NJSP very much is going to be unaccounted for, probably building up to get over or maybe trying to buy their time here. What are your thoughts on it, Jerry?
I mean, it's great work coming in from Northside as they're able to isolate these kills on the Bachelor side, but not for long, as we are seeing Bulldog able to find the kill, as player 5 for Northside instantly going to be taken aback, no longer going to have those emeralds in their capacity. As we look towards Northside, we have a strong bed defense already put up. We look towards the glass in center. That's going to be able to remove any TNT capacity from the opposition in the Bachelor squad, who we know is going to be looking for that revenge, as we already see them trying to put a little bit of barricading over towards the north side squad. But I don't know how much that's going to do, especially if you're good when it comes to parkour. You can actually jump around that. It will not put too much of pressure on your opposition. North Judson San Pierre, though, that's the team that's been a bit more quiet, as they haven't elected to move towards the middle island, going for emeralds, instead opting towards the sides, looking to play for the diamond upgrades. Now, obviously, diamonds do give you a little bit more passive upgrades, such as extra material spawning. It'll give you extra enchantments on your armor. However, comparatively to the really strong items that you can get with emeralds, it could possibly be a little bit worse, as ender pearls is going to be the name of the game, and of course those are going to work very well with something like the diamond sword, like the knockback bow, that will be collected with diamonds. Now, obviously, Bachelor, I like this idea from them. Instead of putting the glass in the center of their base, they're going to be opting to put it on the very outside. Instantly, I don't love the idea of secluding one area with glass, the other half not. I think that you should be spreading it out more, kind of go for a more spread option, as with it all on one side, that's going to give your opponents the opportunity to just kind of move a little bit over, and then they can just place that TNT down and get everything they would have liked. Obviously, Fireball is not going to work on any parts of the base, as the endstone will not be affected by it at all. So you do have a little bit of defense in that regard, but obviously when we're playing at this level, usually we are going to be seeing TNT strats as one of the main capacities for a team to go towards.
I mean, that's really the end all be all there, but I do want to make mention, as you may not be as much on board with the glass outer cover, it does really stop a lot of the pressure that they get going into them. And actually, speaking of NJSP here, they no one's going after them. They have no contest here. And I think they're actually going to be the ones that you really have to be careful of, because the slow and steady will have time to just build up here. Oh, there goes a block. So sorry. Not going to get that one back, sir. Nonetheless, here, I would say that these teams, specifically Northside and Bachelor, are going to be starting to get amped up to have an engagement going, especially before either side gets water involved on their cover for the beds.
Forcing water would be nice due to the kind of exterior damage you're going to be able to cause to your opposition, forcing them to put a bit of a hindrance on their bed breaking potential, making them slow down once they get within the depths. However, it will be a question of, do you really want to opt in for the water this early? As if your opponents can get inside of your base, start to crawl within it like moles, it can give them a little bit of opportunity to be able to secure the bed without anybody even noticing their location. So it certainly isn't a position that you would love to have. Bachelor, however, look at that. Our observer saw it. We saw it. The Ender Pearl in hand could be strong, as it's already going to be the engagement. Falling off the map will be the first player for Northside, as it's a 2v2. Not going to be working for favors, as Bachelor dropping down, trying to go for the golden nap pull. However, it will not collect anything, as Bachelor going to have this engagement stuffed out.
Yeah, not going to be going out too well. The idea was there, but it was not a clean engagement. Now, I do like to say we did see Northside actually push back against NJSP here, the Blue Jays, from trying to make any sort of play from the island. But really, it was that distraction did not get timed well enough for them. But here's an interesting bridge over from the skies. I'm curious if they were aware of it. Oh, yeah. They very much are, but I'm not sure if there's actually any opponents behind the unit there, behind the spawn. Unless we'll just have to see in the long run if we have a catch-22 take place. I mean, Bachelor here, I feel, has the biggest control of the entire map here. You look at how they're set up here, and they actually even have kind of like a main zone to branch out to all the islands to work with.
Yeah, I mean, in Bachelor, they've already been able to dominate the battlefield within their isolation in this regard. However, something that we could try and opt in for on any of these rosters, especially Bachelor, is the ideology of possibly going towards the blue base, gathering materials over there. Certainly won't be as much as when you have the upgrades on your Iron Forge. However, it certainly could be something to give you a little bit more capacity in terms of being able to gather materials, gather fireballs, TNT, anything in that capacity can be seen. However, it doesn't seem like that will be the option. Instead, North, NJSP is going to be taking a bit of a aggressive stance over towards North side as they're building a 2 block out bridge that'll give them a little bit of safety nets in case of arrows. However, with this aggressive position being taken, you got to imagine, oh, Fireball almost gets something done, but it will be J Gaming to net bounce it right back. Unfortunately, they will not be able to redirect at opposition space as the end stone instantly does decay it. So realistically speaking, nothing too much will come of it. However, it does seem as if there is actually going to be NJSP looking to just give a hindrance to Northside, forcing their instant bridge to the middle island to get a little bit of decay onto it. And as that is deteriorating, it gives Bachelor the opportunity to possibly push out and gather emeralds within the middle side.
Yeah, some interesting buildings coming actually from all around. I feel like Northside is the most generic out of it all. Oh, here we go. The water is in and actually going to be able to provide some overflow along the edges there. Now, this can help you if you're going to get knocked out towards the front. I personally have actually seen them more utilized to create a moat, but speaking of which, we do have Northside here infiltrating NJSP. Now they're scouting this out. Unless they can stop the water, they need to have a sponge to actually soak it all up at once. But I don't think they're aware. They're about to get surprised from behind.
Uh,
Or
well,
not. There it is.
Well, that was something. I mean, I don't know if Jay Gamer had that kind of as in their playbook, but they just get on up there, finding the kill. Northside, unfortunately, going to have NJSP taking them aback. So right now, it is just a little bit unlucky. Bachelor going to be out of the fray entirely, not going to try and sneak up on anybody, as right now they are still just going to be farming. Obviously, with NJSP, the only team opting in for water so far, it does beg the question, will Northside, now that they've seen that, go in for a similar kind of positioning? Or will they just try and stick with the same base option that they already do have? Now, obviously, you'd kind of mentioned the moat ideology. It certainly is nice. However, when it comes to it, if you're the team playing on the defensive, the moat doesn't work, or the moat really doesn't work as much as one would have liked, as it's really good on the offensive as it slows your opponents down, gives you time to play defensively. But we have been seeing Northside taking a bit of a more defensive stance. That gives them the opportunity to really play behind this water and use it to their advantage. Now, obviously, if you're a Bachelor, that's something that you're going to be looking to try and mitigate. But as of now, there is going to be a kill coming in for them as Northside going to be taken down once more, giving another kill. However, still, both or all three teams, sorry, having a bit of a defensive hold, right? We haven't really been seeing any massive 3-4 man pushes. Obviously, a 4-man push is a little bit more unlikely. You do kind of tend to see that being something most teams will opt away from, as without a player going for a defensive hold, it does give your base that option to be taken in fashion. And it is still just going to be Northside once more, kind of getting isolated by Bachelor within these positions. But Bulldog seeming to want to really go for sneaky play up towards the high ground. They're crouching down as the name tag will not be revealed. However, with this red wall being built up, you'd imagine that Northside is going to have, or not Northside, sorry, NJSP is going to have all the information across the board on this.
You would imagine, right? But currently, the bulldog here is not crouching. If anything, I want to say that NJSP, they're not. I would say the players are more about building than they are about PvP. Hence, why you're seeing more structured bridges, more slow reactions. Now, what a shot from way beyond there! Coming in with the fireballs as well, going to actually deter the bachelors from trying to make any sort of push here onto NJSP. Now, I would say out of all the teams here, the most vulnerable, I would dare say, is Northside. However, what they make up for that is purely in PvP, being able to actually fight out situations rather than sitting back. So between the Team Yellow and Team Red here, Northside and Batch are just duking it out with each other. I don't think they're really putting enough time either to North Judson Saint Pierre when it was due, but they've now built up to a point where it's just not worth it unless they get a big offensive send while being able to really hold down defensively on their home bases.
We do see Bulldog, Ender Pearl in hand, as well as some TNT. Could possibly opt in for an aggressive stance over towards this north side roster, as we are going to be seeing Ender Pearl and TNT applied everywhere, as they instantly back off with the jump boost potion. Base will be diverted away from, as now Northside instantly going to have to play defense. But Bachelor, they have nobody to be taken down. They still are able to get out scot-free, but with the flank possibly coming in, this could be deadly.
Oh, this is going to be a real funny moment right here, I tell you. There they go.
Striking while the iron is hot, Northside is able to mitigate the damage, taking out the Bachelor player, dealing all of this to their inside base. As they opt in for the aggressive stance, Bachelor going to be heavily investing into that fight, as they brought in a lot of TNT. They brought in the jump boost potion as well as the Ender Pearl, and despite that, all they were able to really get done was taking a little bit of damage towards the base. No kills except for the trade that was seen within the bridge. However, that's kind of to be expected, right? So, I mean, when we look towards these positions where you have everyone just kind of like pushed onto the base, knowing that their opposition is about to go for a full frontal assault, it really does kind of just, it's an expectance, right? That you're not going to be able to do much with only one player. So, you got to give credit where credit is due for Bachelor being able to take the base for a bit of a rough start. However, north side, going for a crazy flank already.
Well, they have been spotted, so they're going to meet opposition right away. And I don't know about this hero play here personally. I don't think this was the move for Northside. I'll give you kudos for your courage there. I'll give that to you, but that was very much you're running in without any sort of game plan there, and I'm not sure if you even had any materials to work with. So not a great plan of execution, but you did get the bridge all the way around. So now that is a path over to NJSP.
Obviously, Bachelor, besides the one aggressive stance they've been taking, we've been looking towards them as the team that's been dominating within Middle Island. So that's something that we already look towards, as you can kind of see a lot of these players having some diamond already capable with the diamond pants or in boots available. It'll give them a bit of an advantage in that regard. I do believe that there's a player behind Bulldog, and they are going to be rushing towards the north side once more. Arrow comes in, looking to bombard their opposition with some fury, but as of now, just look at these north side players digging through, going to be giving a couple sound cues over towards Bulldog, as they are going to be able to give a bit of a barricade over towards themselves, and jumping across, able to get onto Center Island, but player 3 on the north side roster going to diverge away, not looking to chase. Bachelor going to know that they have that kind of PvP technique, and they don't want to try and challenge it in a 1v1. Instead, they want to try and utilize numbers in order to be able to take these kills against Bachelor.
Indeed. I mean, we're looking at this situation here. Oh, look at them duke it out. They actually will get the elimination there against Northside's player 5. So, be able to take some resources away from them. However, we have 5 minutes left on the clock overall, and no one has gone down yet. It's still anyone's game here. And I'm not sure if you've seen it before, but this could be the first witnessed tie breaker here for the round 1.
Well, it is still just round 1, obviously, with 3 games available. There is going to be much more time that you need to hold off. If I'm on the Bachelor roster, they've been the one that's on the aggressive the majority of this game, taking mid control instantaneously within this matchup. I'm thinking if I'm them, I would need to find a bed break, right? Like, you don't want this game to go out with only 0 points. If you're any of these teams, except for maybe NJSP, who's kind of been playing on the defensive, we didn't really see them opting in for mid central early on, which that might have been the idea, right? We want to play kind of by ourselves, not go for too much aggression. However, Northside, Bachelor, they're both kind of playing super aggro, and that's been something that we've kind of been seeing time and time again. And the repetition almost working in Bachelor's favor as a bit of a trap play comes out. However, not going to happen just yet. Northside and Bachelor duking it out, NJSP playing passive, and as of now, it certainly hasn't been leading anywhere. Whether or not it'll stay that way, it's still to be decided. But with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, Somi, it definitely seems as if this game could just go for a bit of a standstill.
I mean, most definitely here. Now, here we go again. Another solo player. Here comes the hero play going over to NJSP. Can they actually get something done this time, however? Nope, not again. It happens. You can't really expect much unless you are extremely fast and you have possibly a setup like Bachelor does. Over towards the base of Bachelor, you see the roofs over the bridges, and those are actually to be able to do assisting with block hopping. As you jump up and down, you get a little bit of speed. That's why you'll get a additional block distance when you launch yourself off of a place block. Now, that we did just see a nice 42 block range elimination there from the players. Actually, probably the farthest so far in the series. Open to see if we can break that.
I mean, we are wait, was that the bed?
No bed has been
Oh, that was the
eliminated
blue
yet.
bed broken.
Correct.
Oh, well. I'm an idiot. All right. Well, okay. Yeah, north side, they're still going to be all good, though, in that we kind of look towards spectating one of these players. They're just going to try and get some emeralds towards middle island as now a bit of an engagement, bombarding it with arrows, trying to go brute force all the way as it's a 1-for-1. Bachelor, I think they possibly could have made that a little bit less scrappy if they just try and hold their distance. However, they wanted to make sure their opposition didn't get 2 for the price of 1. So going in aggressively, that could have definitely been the right play, and I do got to give them credit where credit is due. Northside, I mean, we've kind of been seeing this consistently from them. They go for these hero plays, looking to try and be subtle about it. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea, because obviously if you're able to make it work, it could be something to look forward to. However, you got to imagine, after the first or second time where you're not really getting too much value off of that play, you will try and opt in for a more kind of consecutive push with the rest of the team, right? Where you all are going in as one unison, and that could be the kind of the key to being able to find these beds. So far, we haven't really seen that from any team, which is something that I would like to see, right? Like, at the middle school level, this is where we're, like, learning, and obviously, you don't traditionally see teams already being in that comfort zone. However, that's something that I'd like to see from these teams, because obviously they have that individual prowess to be able to be a top team. However, when you're able to communicate with the rest of your roster, tell them, yes, guys, let's go for an aggressive play together. Let's all charge at this Northside base. Let's all charge at NJSP, all charge at Bachelor. That's going to be the play that could possibly give them the opportunity to find that bed break.
I mean, certainly so, but we are down to a minute left on the clock and still no action being had. I'm not sure we're going to really see anything unless one of these teams goes for a Hail Mary here. I think that they need to actually just get a full send here within the last couple seconds and try to drill together at a singular point to get at least the bed break, to get some points on the board.
So it's only 30 seconds remaining, seeming as if there's not much left. Actually, maybe not, as Northside's going to get a lot of kills on Bachelor. 30 seconds are all that's left. Will they be able to follow up with a bed break? Seeming as if the answer perchance is going to be no, as NJSP picking up a kill towards this Diamond Island. Already, however, 3 players pushing aggressively. This is what I was talking about. This is what they are looking to make happen at the last moment.
Wow.
10 seconds are all that's given. Everyone charges in. 9 seconds. NJSP looking to make a play. They find another kill, as now they all bombard heavily with 2 seconds remaining. There's nothing left. That's tie, as every team fallen with no points gained. So everyone just having that standstill. But, you got to give credit for, not going to ruin the hopes of your opposition just yet.
Yeah, now I think there is a bit of a misnomer in that stat line there from the game. It said the longest shot from blocks was 41. No, I recall I have 42 written down specifically. I remember that, seeing that earlier. So get a little bit of that there. I did like what I was seeing from NJSP there towards the end. They actually definitely the dark horse of the match, where they started to really ante up towards the end there. I think they actually had a solid shot at getting the bed elimination there if they had enough time, because they were just both spamming it to then allow for the melee behind them to run in and confirm the kill there for them to actually push forward into Northside.
Yeah, definitely looking good from all these teams. Being able to keep the bet alive, playing the defense extraordinary. And it will be the masterclass performance from each of them to be able to make that happen, despite a little bit of a standstill for the Northside roster at the start of this game, where they were taken aback by their opposition in the red team. It did make a comeback as they were able to keep the defense alive, keeping it good, keeping it well entertaining for us as the viewers, as they kept up engagements, looked good, as we are going to be seeing a couple clips now, actually. So that's pretty cool. We get to see some replays, as now we're going to be getting on in. We take a look at this, and obviously this was one of the more kind of straightforward fights from Bachelor, where they really rushed opposition island. However, with Northside able to mitigate the damage that was being applied to them, obviously trying to go for a bit of healing towards the end. Bulldog trying to make a good play in that regard. However, I think what might have been able to work a little bit stronger is you go for a bit of verticality, right? Start building up. Could possibly give you a way to get that healing off without your opposition charging you from straight forward. Here's one of Northside's plays where we see them kind of going in, trying to be a little bit sneaky regarding pushing the opposition's base. And unfortunately, that time it did not work in their favor. However, with this, it's just going to be this consecutive idea from Bachelor, which I've been liking, where they go in really aggressively, exploding onto enemy territory. And unfortunately for them, Northside has been really good at being able to mitigate it.
I think a lot of these teams are very defensive heavy here. The Bulldog had no idea coming in from behind the sacrificial elimination there. I loved watching that back. But the number of plays that Northside made attempts on here actually I think were the most out of all the teams, with Bachelor coming in second and of course third being NJSP.
Very good stuff coming on through as Bachelor obviously looking pretty strong in terms of their team fight, or not team fight, sorry, in terms of being able to isolate fights, and in those 1v1s they've been able to thrive. However, when it comes to being able to play the defense, it's really been Northside who's been so proactive about that. And obviously NJSP as well has been really good at prioritizing their diamond generators, and it was worked out for them in their favor. They did not allow any attacks to go in without notice.
That they did not. Now, with the new round starting off here, 20 minutes on the board here, I believe we're going to actually see a bit of a different gameplay strategy going in from all the teams here. I have a fond memory from this map last time I was here casting. There was a bed elimination, and one of the players hid within one of the pillars on the outside of the castle, and no one was the wiser. They couldn't get the last team standing because of the one player that went into hiding.
As Northside is already pushing towards center, we are going to be seeing same colors, I believe. Interestingly enough, as Bachelor is taking on the red, NJSP taking the green once more. No changes means same orders, and obviously NJSP, a different idea coming in for them, electing to go for a very simple bed defense, however, already going for instant emeralds. I'm very surprised by this, as last game they went for diamonds off the bat, and this time it does seem as if they'll go for one diamond generator, but putting a player up towards central, trying to make something happen. Already Northside going for an aggressive stance. Not sure whether or not they'll really force this aggression out, but NJSP gonna have a player falling off the map. Could have been for a couple of reasons. Maybe they just wanted a quick reset. We are seeing NJSP on the back foot as Mr. Shepherdcraft trying to get something done. We do see the end stone already available, but Bulldog coming in with NJSP trying to get something done, as now both players coming on through trying to get something done. There's the bed!
I think that was to be expected there, in all honesty, because they did not hold a proper front line there, and that bed's going to cost them 5 points that Northside is awarded with. Northside, excuse me.
Amazing work coming in from this Northside roster, able to find 5 points off the bat of their... I mean, it's kind of a question of, right, like, is that the right play from NJSP? Because they sent one player over towards Diamond, one player over towards Emerald. You lose the player in Emerald. That leaves you with only 2 players to play defense, as then Bachelor was able to take advantage completely. And I did think there was maybe a chance that I got the names wrong, as I remember Bachelor on having that Bulldog player who was so proactive in terms of kind of playing aggressively. But yep, that is going to be the case, as Bachelor is going to be able to score that 5 points. And now it kind of begs the question of, will they be able to continue this, right? Like, obviously with the green taking it back, can they make the comeback? You'd imagine that that shouldn't be too possible in this game, so they may perchance just going to have to wait for a future one. But obviously we were kind of discussing this within the kind of pre-talking, where we were in the voice chat without the stream happening. It was a situation where we were discussing there's only one team that's not going to be able to make it to the finals. So if you're NJSP, this certainly has to be you shaking, as you need Bachelor to kind of come down now. but it doesn't seem like that's going to be all too possible as a sixth point is already applied. So now it's really going to be a race between NJSP and Northside here as Bulldog coming on aggressively takes another kill, looking for a third as they have the iron armor. They could try and outplay, but it doesn't seem like they'll opt in for it. Instead, oh, they keep aggression as there's the golden apple achieving some kind of rejuvenation, but oh, they go aggressively, crouching, name tag, maybe seen, going to be spotted, player jumping off the map, looking to get the health reset, but now Bulldog comes in to achieve with a little bit of succession as 2v1 coming on as they're going. Both players trying to get the knockback. Will be the first. Gonna be able to take down the player 4. There's gonna be the trade. Still though, we look towards even more. Gonna be another player off map, but there's still no time. Bed gets exposed. That'll do it. Bachelor takes both beds.
That they will. I mean, you saw it. You saw it in their eyes. They were setting up for it. Once again, it's the same person that did the setup there on the initial aggressive push, and then the same person with the follow-up. And now that both beds have been eliminated, all they have to do is just play cleanup here. They get eliminations, and I would say, yeah, the Bachelors have this locked in. This is probably one of the fastest rounds I have ever seen in Bed Wars.
I mean, we're not even 5 minutes into this game, and it's already seeming as if it's done and dusted. Northside gonna be the next team to be on the chopping block on the looks of it, as there's another player down. Bachelor ending off the all hopes is now Bulldog02 gonna be taking the last Northside player into a 1v1 scenario with only leather armor on their back. It's nothing to happen, and Northside is down for game number 2, and it's all up to NJSP to try and take the bed, but likely that's a story that will be forgotten as Bachelor's already going for a 2v2, takes the first. NJSP taken aback.
Yeah, that elimination there will come out, and Bachelor just... what a sweep here. This was completely dominated. I think out of all the maps, this one in particular is probably my favorite. It's always had the most aggression on it from teams, as well as the most like adversity, because it feels like the main island and the starting bases are much closer compared to the other rounds. Like we will be going in here to our next Pirate Cove. So going to be really looking to see how we get that stuff going. Now, because it was so quick, I don't think we even had enough time to take a look at those highlights, do we?
I mean, you'd gotta imagine that we're just gonna get into game number 3. You'd imagine that 2 of these schools are looking to get into that as soon as possible, brush the loss off their backs, as this is going to be certainly between this NJSC roster as well as Northside, as one team moves back, 2 teams move forward, and you really do have to be imagining that there's not a big world where we won't be seeing the Bachelors within this grand final.
So what we really need to see here, however, between NJSP and Northside was that as soon as both beds were announced as eliminated, the two had to run for each other to try to get an elimination off each other to at least get a point on the board. Because as we've mentioned, one team's not going to make it. The two will advance. So if you can at least start with having some points, you're going to be a better situation going into this game number 3 than you currently are, where you're tied 0-0.
I mean, you really are in a desperate spot if you're either of these 2 teams, and especially if you are NJSP. I think that was a very tragic end for them, as we just look towards the Bachelors taking a complete advantage over the mistakes made. You can't be opting for Emerald Island if you don't have a strong defense, right? With only 2 players sitting at base and only that light layer of wool to be able to protect the bed, it really does opt for a massive engagement to be capitalized upon, and it just seemed as if their opposition in the Bachelors just kind of figured that out and took it completely in their way. But we are seeing game number 3 starting off, third and final matchup of the night, potentially. I'm not totally sure how it works if there's 0 points for 2 teams. I think they go into a matchup. Not sure if our production can relay any information on that, but I do believe, however, that this is going to be Bachelor, at least more likely than not qualified.
Oh, hands down, definitely. It's going to be a question of if Northside or NJSP can really pull something out from behind here. And immediately, Bachelor, we've seen them do it every single time, aggressively leading out into the main island there. They like to take all the space available from their opponents here. And I think that's very smart. If they're quick enough, they could actually knock some of these players off of Northside immediately.
I mean, why would they not, right? Like, we've seen them consistently being able to win these 1v1s. Another one coming out as Bachelor from the low ground going to still be able to take advantage. And now a 1-for-1. Oh,
Ooh.
not even a 1-for-1. Bachelor just taking 2 kills off Northside instantaneously as they're going to be able to collect emerald generators throughout this entirety. Actually, Northside's still going to be electing for another combat engagement. However, Bachelor not going to have too many options. I believe they have some emeralds available. Oh, never mind. Going for a bit of a double team on oh, well, there's going to be a kill. We actually do see the emeralds dropping. However, a player to pick them up instantly will leave Bachelor with really nothing to worry about. North side on the opposite side going to try and make something happen. However, as of now, North Judson, St. Pierre, they're going to be the team going for the same strategy we've seen kind of consistently from them, where they play a little bit more passively towards the start, going for a more static positioning instead of the dynamic activations that Bachelor has been opting into consistently, which has been allowing them to be able to get these early beds, which I think is something that you really do got to give a little bit of kind of props for. However, honestly, I love the idea from the Blue Jays. As going for this, it is going to be the Bachelors to take another fight off of them. And that's kind of why I like this so much, because if Northside gets their bed broken, that'll give NJSP, sorry, the opportunity to be able to find at least 1 point off of a knockoff the world or something in that regard. However, Bachelor already going to go for the high ground, finding the kill. Bulldog able to find it, and they will be able to force Northside into a little bit of a rough situation. Golden Apple taken for the rejuvenation, as now they go in a little bit more aggressively. High ground scene. 2 players looking to double team. However, Bachelor still going to be on the aggressive stance. We do see the bed getting covered in endstone, going to give them a little bit of opportunity for some leeway. However, right now, it's still Bachelor taking them for a ride, as currently Northside having no opportunity to go towards diamonds. They have no opportunity to go towards emeralds, looking for some leeway. They take some fireballs out, trying to go aggressive. However, it's still going to be the high ground achieved. Bachelor going to have a little bit of opportunity to try and make something happen here for a game win right off the back.
Yep, I mean, this is just a pure stalemate here. It is the same 2 players from Bachelor who did get the initial bed break on game number 2 here, but they're actually playing so much slower than I would expect them to. They got that first elimination there. They could actually just full send it again. They have their gapples. I think they need to get aggressive when they were in that position, but just waiting this out is actually hurting them rather than being able to help them, because the longer you sit here, the more time they have to fortify their defenses. And they're currently weak. We saw as we went into that bed base there, they don't have any glass and they don't have any other block covering the bed in comparison to NJSP here, who has been doing proper layering.
Well, I mean, you gotta imagine that realistically, Bachelor, with the ideals that they've been looking towards, kind of forcing Northside into a rock and a hard place, allowing them to fortify their base. Not the end of the world, as it gives you the opportunity to be able to cut off their momentum towards emeralds, cutting off their momentum towards diamonds. As with Fireball, you could shoot somebody right off the side, but we are going to be seeing a Bachelor player actually taking it back, as it will be Northside to find a kill. Great stuff coming in from them, able to win out that PvP duel.
Oh, this
As
is
now,
interesting. Look and
oh, we
look.
are seeing Northside trying to go aggressive towards NJSP, but instantly taken down. It will be NJSP keeping up their defenses.
I actually like how they have the setup here. Now, the Bachelor is going to also try to match that. Instead of using wool, which you typically would for bridging out and going forward, they're purposely using both the end stone as well as the wood, which is harder to break. Now, you are seeing a bit of a PvP coming out here on the Emerald Generator, but it seems Bachelor wants to actually back off. They have an understanding that they cannot just afford to fall and provide more resources to their opponents here. As Northside's now looking to see if they themselves could possibly, oh, no sirree, just going to be shot directly in the head, a critical hit there, finding that elimination.
And I really hope that Northside's able to pick up those emeralds, as it would be a necessity to be able to get those back to base. Right, and now, however, North Judson Sempi are just going to go for this diamond generator. However, with the contestation from Northside, it really is a battle between these two, right? Like, as of now, Bachelor kind of has everything they possibly could ask for. Their qualification is all but guaranteed. However, a bit of a 1v1 coming in off the fireball gives Northside the kill, as NJSP going to have to back up a little bit, conceding possession over the Diamond Island. Now, question becomes, does Northside look to play aggressive? Do they try and back off with a bow in play? You'd imagine going towards the bridge could be an option leading to your doom, but it will be Northside. Two players on Diamond Island looking to possibly contest. However, one goes back, one stays in possession.
Yes, I mean, you could try to go for this here, but this is not a whole lot of room to make your pass over the bridge. You also don't have the cover from a roof to make sure that the knockback and recoil doesn't send you off. And if anything, you're not paying attention to Bachelor right now, who's currently gauging their options and now actually going over towards Northside here. But it's going to be Northside trying to actually force the play here. They're just running around breaking blocks, but that one block broken just will alert the horde as they all are going and swinging.
As we see the 1v1, Northside going to be barraged with swings as they get hit all over their body. Iron swords collapsing on top of them. As now, NJSP just taking such an aggressive stand.
Oh no! Why did you do that, Bachelor? This has to be a strategic play of we're not giving them resources. We're going to full send. I've got my potion taken, and now we're just going to have to run it. We're going to try to just full send this. This is Bachelor's strategy here as they now try to head for the pyramid. Has both players together. That's going to be one down. Needs to start making a break here. You get the one knocked back around the side. Dynamite in because they did not cover up where it was exposed. So right now, NJSP really needs to start blocking this off again if they are aware. I mean, Northside also trying to go for a play, but gets knocked off immediately there. Not by NJSP, but instead by Bachelors taking one with them.
NJSP gonna have the bet exposed, however, for the length of time that remains that way, undetermined. Seeming as if it will not be for long. However, they instantaneously will cover it up. Opting to not give anything away, and instead NJSP will... Oh, never mind. There.
I guess not.
Wait a little bit. Looking to keep the same fortification on all regards, and some explosions will be able to break some blocks, not give it back to you, dropping it on the ground. They needed to buy a little bit, I'd imagine. And, yeah, they're going to be able to cover it up a little bit.
Jerry.
NJSP, what's up?
Do you see him? He's right there behind the mass.
Oh, I think they've spotted him. We kind of see some players pointing fingers as the Northside possibly spotted out. Yep, they're starting to collapse. As J Gamer going to be hit, and now it's all done for nothing as it's Northside taken down. A 2v1. North Judson Saint Pierre going to be able to find the kill. Oh my god,
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. I saw this the last time I was here. Instead of the player hiding behind the mast, they actually hid in the sail and waited for the team to coordinate a push on the front while they came down from the rafters, all Pirates of the Caribbean style, Jack Sparrowing in to be able to get the elimination on the bed.
Yeah, coordination's been so good. Unfortunately, Northside has just been kind of a rough situation, which has been leading to them going for these sneaky plays, and unfortunately, without having that kind of multiple layers, it's been a little bit of an error at attacking strategy, not allowing them to deliberate their options. Instead, they opt in for kind of that one-layered strategy that gives them not a lot of options, especially when you look towards a team like NJSP, who's been kind of all defense, no offense. The proactivity, instead of being kind of all there, it's been, oh, well, they're taking kills still, as J Gaming doing some great shots 16 blocks away. They still keeping kills going their way.
That they are. Now, they still haven't covered up with glass properly yet, so if they do have dynamite coming in, they're going to be very, very vulnerable here. And I do have an answer to you for your earlier question as 10 minutes remain on the clock. If Northside and NJSP tied, there will be a sudden death match that will take place to determine who will advance to the finals.
Oh, I see. That's very fun. That's very cool. But, what we need to see now is with 10 minutes remaining, you'd imagine one team should be taken aback at least sooner rather than later. I mean, the kind of instantaneous tempo we saw from game one does not seem to be really collaborating into game two. Sorry, isn't really coming into game number 3, as we have just kind of been seeing each team playing towards that defensive role, not looking to be taken out
Oh,
just yet.
well, Northside seems to have slipped up a bit, and again, we have another bridge up here now. Are they aware is the question, and I dare say NJSP not too aware. Nope, stand corrected. I think they do see Northside here bridging up. I think they're going to get ready to receive their guests momentarily. How do you think they're going to address them?
Oh, well, we do see the adjustment coming in already as the fireball is coming out. Oh,
Ooh, that was
unfortunately, it
short-lived.
will not matter. The fireball gets deflected, but the player is still going to have that recoil adjusting to them, as it is still Northside. A little bit too late to try and get something done. NJSP keeping up the defense as well, as now Northside gonna have to deal with the attack coming in from Bachelor, as there's a 3v2. However, on the bridge, this can get very dicey.
Yeah, you said it. I saw that knockback there, and I said, "Oh goodness gracious, they are not going to make it." Now, the Bulldogs really trying to just hold out this line here, as once again the hero getting sent over the NJSP. They are never tired. You will have the one knockoff there, and TNT is in the ready, so they could just send it through. They probably want to get another elimination here before they try to go for the bed break. But now's the time for action, and they're going in with the block hops. Can they get an opening here for the Dynamite to start out? They're just trying to get this PvP going, but it seems that both players from the side of the Bachelor will not be able to really push through.
Great stuff coming out as Northside able to run the defense, achieving their victory in that regard. However, whether or not they'll be able to keep that play up, we will have to wait and see.
Ooh.
Certainly, though, as Northside mounting a bit of an attack over towards the NJSP roster, could give a little bit of a frontal offload. As now, one player coming in from the side, one coming in from the opposition. J Gamer looking to end this aggressive stance already, and it's going to be taken back before it even starts. Northside, a little bit too risky as they try and put all their eggs in one basket, opting for the bed break, but it will just be NJSP putting that to rest.
That they are here. I mean, what we were seeing is a lot of these situations. It's quite a funny thing to see when you had Northside trying to go back over the NJSP over through the Diamond Islands. Oh, seeing someone miss their jump. That's unfortunate there, as you are going to be down one player just for a couple of seconds as we see the fight go out on the main islands here. But going back to what I was saying earlier, on the bridge up there that Northside had, one of NJSP had an archer sitting up there, and I love how they were just kind of swinging at each other, as if saying, "I have the high ground, Anakin." Too old of a reference?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, as we are going to be seeing another kill. Bachelor going to just be taking it back as well, trying to climb up the bridge. Northside will pull their frontal assault onto him and just stab him in the back, taking the kill. 6 minutes remain. Bachelor seeming to be on the cusp of that qualification. And obviously NJSP, Northside, neither team having too much aggressiveness in their system so far. It is going to still be Bachelor, however, completely maintaining mid control. As now a bit of a 1v1 towards the mid side gives the player 6 a double kill. As Bachelor dropping back. Oh, never mind. Not dropping back. Instead, aggressing forward as they look towards making a 2v2 go their way up towards the opposition base. Little defenses have been oh, never mind. They're just going to put a TNT there and back off.
That's an interesting play there. I mean, if I'm Bachelor here, I actually have nothing to worry about. Oh, wait a minute. The flank!
Oh!
The shot from beyond here from NJSP. They could actually try to coordinate this push between NJSP and Bachelor. Now you're going to be seeing Bachelor trying to make a push on in here. The Bulldogs going to be gaining the initial aggression. One gets knocked off the map. The other one defers over to the Diamond Islands here as they get another elimination going. They're trying to see if they can block for their Bulldog teammate here. And I think the plan is to just rush it in here. NJSP really just being the third party trying to poke wherever they can.
Great stuff coming in as it is still the defense from Northside standing strong. NJSP unable to make too much happen. Right off the back, however, Northside still going to have to play defense as lots of players are mounting attacks. We were kind of mentioning the idea of possessing that kind of come back together, but as it will be a snipe from Bachelor over towards NJSP, they're not going to want any other team except for their own to score points tonight.
Oh, this could be very dangerous. Look at all that TNT. They were just waiting, building it up. Thankfully, however, they have the glass underneath. Now, that's not going to be enough as Bachelor gets the bed break. This leaves Northside very vulnerable as they have lost one of their players. This is the time for NJSP to just full commit and get an elimination here to qualify for the playoffs.
Oh, that is tragic if you are this Northside roster. However, NJSP still yet to score the point. They need to find a kill off map. As Northside, they could just suffocate themselves within their base, and that would be enough. As long as NJSP doesn't get a point, they will be fine. As long as they don't throw themselves off the map, they will be fine.
Here we go. Here we go. Come on, NJSP. You got to get in there, Mr. Shepard. You got to get that elimination. You got to just full send it here. Get your 1 point on the board or even make them fall off the map. No!
Oh, that's tragic. Literally a millimeter away from death. And that will still be Northside keeping themselves awake on this matchup. However, it won't matter just yet. Northside, 2 players remain. And you might think, oh, Northside's dying. That's good for NJSP. No, it is not. They need those kills. They need them to get that 1 point to bring themselves into a game 3 finish instead of having to go towards a 4th. So this certainly is still tragedy for NJSP as only 1 player remains. Oh wait, they were shot off the bed by NJSP. That's crazy. NJSP will be qualifying for this finals event.
Did they actually get it?
I believe so. I think that's what that said in chat.
I believe it was the Bachelors. But we'll see here. Maybe they could actually take a fight back to them as they're now losing their own bed unless they do successfully defend here. They're able to hold on out. We'll probably get confirmation from production whether or not that truly was NJSP gaining elimination on Northside or not.
I'm not entirely sure myself, but with 2 minutes remaining, you got to imagine that there is no more chances for NJSP to find that point. Instead, it will likely be Bachelor to find this game win and force the sudden death.
Indeed. I mean, what you were really also hoping for here is that you can get negative points in this. So if they actually could have had Northside just accidentally misstep and cause them to fall, that would have made them qualify as well. And it is NJSM.
We haven't seen a whole ton of that tonight, so you do kind of lack that expectation that we are going to be seeing a player jumping off the map. Unfortunately, with how strong all of the players in this lobby have been, it really does make you wonder how that would even kind of come into fruition. But that is going to... Oh, yep, there it is. NJSP did take the kill, and that will be them qualifying in for the finals. And honestly, they deserve it. They were so good throughout this whole game, and I think that their playstyle being a lot more of that passive style rather than going for the dynamic entrances and keeping up mobility throughout the game instead of opting in for everything, they really just kind of played solid, and it worked out for them in the end. As now Bachelor and JSP Blue Jays will be your teams qualifying to the finals, facing off against the East Tip Minecraft roster and Hobart Minecraft Middle School Varsity. So who wins there? That's to be decided. But right now, we're just going to see the ending of this game.
Indeed we are. I mean, Bachelor's going to be trying to put in an aggressive front. They have quite a bit of knockback resistance there. The other player, not so much. As you'll be seeing within these last 10 seconds, a very solid structure. Despite the attacks they received, they recovered quite well. I would say what I want to see coming out from NJSP going into the finals is that they have to play a lot more aggressive once they're in it, because they did great on this situation defensively to hold on out and play the long game, and that paid off. but it's not going to when you go into the finals.
Yeah, when you're playing against teams of the caliber that go into the final matchup, it really does begin to linger around in your minds that you need to be able to make the comeback. You need to be able to play aggressively. Obviously, the playstyle that they adopted in this matchup, it was able to work out when playing against a team that was able to dominate so heavily, instantly make that qualification yours. However, without that bed being broken for your opposition, it could have gone to that sudden death without any question about it. Now, you could possibly give it to the Bachelors to be kind of considering the idea that this was theirs to win, as they had so much going for them. And, you know, they may have even been the team to qualify NJSP, as breaking their opposition's bed gave them that opportunity to be able to find the first kill, to be able to bring them to 1 point. But, I mean, it really was anyone's game to come second. Game 1, obviously, it was kind of a guarantee that we were going to be seeing Bachelor after they brought so much dominance into game number 2, destroying both teams' beds, doing everything they could possibly ask for. And we are going to be seeing some highlights happening right now of that last game, just showing how both these NJSP and Northside rosters were able to keep up defensively. However, when it came to offense, it was Bachelor who took this game by storm.
Oh, most definitely here. They really took it by the head here, cutting off any hope that was left for Northside to be able to really put some fight back in. I mean, even looking at these highlights here, Northside did put up a great fight, but I think it really came down to hesitation over and over and coordination there that really did them in. And that's where Bachelor's really shown, as they were being able to prepare themselves for the end game situations.
Great stuff coming in from Bachelor, of course. Obviously, they were the team that looked so good. And we see these replays. This was one especially where we see the red base looking so good. Northside almost able to make some kind of magic. And that was just kind of what we looked towards, right? The proactivity from this roster was there. Just unfortunately, the NJSP defense reigned supreme, as it was able to completely mitigate the aggressive stance being created. This is well from Bachelor, where they're able to open up. Bed gets exposed, but unfortunately, it's just not enough, as NJSP, we actually saw, I believe it was this player with iron armor, they were standing right in front of the bed, which you gotta love, right? That's the play that you need to be making there. Instead of chasing your opposition, you want to be able to play defense, making sure there's no world where they can get the bed break. And that was something we saw consistently from them, as the repetition in them being able to take defensive holds was just so nice.
Indeed it was. I mean, there also was a good number of funny situations that I loved seeing here, at whether it be on the players' behalves or not, but the aggression really is what sent them into the finals here, and really dedicated what it meant to really take the aggression to your opponents.
Great stuff came through consistently. It was both teams pushing in on the front foot. Unfortunately, though, for the Northside roster, really their aggression just got mitigated so often. This was one of the better pushes from them, as we look towards them kind of being on the Northside kind of team and almost getting to their base. But unfortunately, when it comes to the 50-50s that you take on bridge, it really does go either team's way. But just the defense from Northside was so good, and it just allowed them to be able to maintain themselves.
Indeed it was. Now this was really the nail in the coffin here. Once they were exposed, they just immediately went down here. And I think it was about soon after you actually had the elimination that NJSP earned for themselves here.
That is tragedy striking. As another good replay. Honestly, this one was big, as NJSP went for one of their proactive plays, which we didn't see too often, but it did look good whenever they were going for it, trying to make something happening. NJSP here as well, just trying to get something done, but as Bachelor cleans them all up, it really was a scenario where you can't be letting these types of matchups go the opposition's way. And I think NJSP read this game 3 like a book, knowing that all they needed to do was collect 1 point. They didn't opt to try and break breads, instead looked to just find that single point that would be able to collect them the win. and with it working selectively in their favor, it was just their game to be able to take. So honestly, strategy-wise, got to give it up to NJSP. In terms of skill and absolute prowess, definitely got to give it up for those winners, though. 26 points, a completely dominant finish.
Indeed it was. Now, we are going to have a few more thank yous to actually give out here before we close things on out. So, I'm going to be starting it here. This broadcast is part of LandFest's Scholastic Esports program that supports this league and many others. Since launching, LandFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to the Scholastic Leagues in Washington and Indiana. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the leagues, schools, and teams we cover, and your generous donations make it all possible. Every $200 raised covers the operating costs for one regular season broadcast. If you appreciate our work, be sure to scan the QR code on screen and donate today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, LandFest, they do some great stuff, making all this possible, making this Bed Wars stream be even better than one would have had. But obviously, that's not the only shout-outs. Beyond that, LOS Portal want to play esports in college. Obviously, these players, they're in middle school, but they're certainly going to be looking at this as a way to be able to get to that level. Now you can search for hundreds of collegiate esports programs at portal.leagueos.gg. Scholarships exist for players, shoutcasters, and more, so list all your talents. Verified coaches are searching LS Portal now to find you. IN students, sign in to manage your prospect portal where your stats automatically update. LS Portal is free. And yes, when I say free, I do mean 100% free. Don't miss your chance to get discovered. Visit portal.leagueos.gg. That is portal.leagueos.gg and level up your future today.
I know I'll be searching on that. I'm definitely looking for players going into these new semesters here for the college team. So really excited to be able to see the young talent come through here. But that's going to wrap it up here for us. I have been Saminami, and joined here by Cherry J as well, as we have a little bit of a interesting moment there. And thank you so much for coming out to watch there. That will conclude it for Indiana Esports Network with Minecraft Bed Wars.